You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
what will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. I'm Ken, here in the studio with Jeff and Neal. What's up?
Not too much, just staring at Matt's visage across the internet there.
Ah, yes, Matt, the man who invented the term man cave. How you doing?
Mm-hmm. For being in a man cave, it's a very well-lit room. Usually I'm in the darkness, and you ask me to turn on lights because it's a little spooky.
What do you got in your man cave? You got a pinball machine, a pool table, big TV. What do you got?
Foosball?
There's no room for any of that.
Beer fridge?
It's a modest
fridge?
Man cave.
Modest.
I would always go for a beer fridge, yeah.
All right, a modest man cave. We like that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a modest man cave. Our studio here is kind of like a man cave because it gets hot and sweaty very quickly, and unfortunately,
are those the features of a man?
I think
cave?
It is. Yeah.
Actually, what Neal means
Smells
is
like cigars and farts.
Oh, he drew very poorly on the walls, and he's hoping in thousands of years people will read into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I put some Nintendo words on the wall, and maybe it'll become a religion or something. I don't know in 1,000 years. But we're very excited. We have some awesome guests with us today. Our first guest is a returning guest. We always love having her here straight off the pickleball court to record with us today. And we'll let her discuss what the team name origin is with Matt. But yeah, Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, Kristen Berset Harris. How are you, Kristen?
Hello, fellas. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Why don't you remind folks what you do? Obviously, you're the greatest TV host of all time, but other than that, everything else, and then what you've been up to.
That's right. Yeah, I live near Baltimore, Maryland, but I host a talk show in Washington, D.C., and Neal has been a guest on my show a couple of times now. With your new books coming out, I'm going to make you come back on so we can talk some rom-coms.
Yeah.
But very cool to have you in studio and be here with you guys. I'm a stepmom of 2. My dog is staring at me through the door, wants to get in, wondering what's going on. But yeah, I'm excited to be here and pair up with my fellow Marylander. Been wanting to do this, Matt.
I know.
Trying to get us together.
We were so close the other day. You were doing a shoot near where my Starbucks is at. I just happened to be off that day.
I was doing a shoot with some senior citizens playing pickleball, and I was texting, not stalking, Matt. I was going to pop up at a Starbucks, but yeah, you were off that day. So we meet here.
Yeah, I was sitting at home waiting for IKEA furniture because they give you a very tight window of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you know exactly when it's going to come. So we're going to be Team IKEA Connections today.
Well, we're excited to have you here, Kristen. I think it's going to be a fun game with you and Matt as the IKEA connection. And speaking of pickleball, our special guest host today, first time on the show, also plays pickleball, and I'm assuming would crush all of us. But we're excited to have him here, coming to us from the OC, Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, Jeff Prugpichailers. How are you, Jeff?
Hi, good, thanks.
And tell us a little bit about yourself. We're excited to have you here for the first time.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm a high school math teacher from Orange County, California. I've loved trivia my whole life. We never had cable TV, so Jeopardy was pretty much what we watched every night. And I go to weekly pub quiz with my friends. I'm the quiz bowl advisor at my school, and that inspired me to begin studying to try to make a serious attempt at appearing on Jeopardy one day. I found Triviality through a recommendation on the Jeopardy subreddit for a trivia podcast to make my commute more productive. And besides trivia, my other big hobby is Pokémon Go. I'm moderator for the Pokémon Go Orange County Discord, which has over 16,000 members. And I'm part of the Pokémon Go official ambassador program, which means they send me free goodies like item codes and stickers to distribute to my community to encourage in-person gameplay.
Does that mean like Matt used to be
super cool?
Matt used to be one of your serfs when he was living in LA? Is that kind of how that works?
Probably not.
If I had known, I would have been. Yeah, but LA is a little north of the OC community, which we don't call it that.
I've got a code card for you, Matt, if you want later. Some free items.
Of course I do.
Well, that's awesome, Jeff. Well, I think, first of all, appreciate you finding us through the Jeopardy subreddit. We didn't even know that we were mentioned on there, but when this is done, feel free to post that there. And if any other subredditors want to, come on the show like Jeff or listen to the show, we welcome you and appreciate your listenership. And then also, Pokemon Go. Matt loves playing that. And if any Pokemon Go players want to come on the show too, maybe we'll do a full Pokemon Go game or something like that.
There's a few listeners that are pretty avid
I have
players.
never seen Matt as excited as when he was just offered a free code. Like, just now. Like, he's like a pretty happy guy, but that was a special moment to be a part of.
It's like Christmas morning for me.
So Jeff is going to score keep today. So kind of you and I will play together. What's our team name going to be?
Yeah, well, we had the IKEA connection, so we're going to be Billy Bookcase Thornton.
All right. I like that. That sounds good. And in honor of Jeff being here from Orange County, we're going to have Adam Brody do the rules read. Let's see how it sounds.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Sounded a little deeper than normal, but maybe
you're used to Kid Brody, right?
That's true. Yeah. So if you haven't seen The Kid Detective, by the way, it's an awesome film.
I have seen it based on your recommendation.
Oh, good. Well, Jeff, we can get the game going. We're ready to go.
All right. So round 1. Since I'm a math teacher, questions 1 through 10 are all inspired by a mathematical property of each of the numbers. But only a single question actually involves math. The rest are just flavor that I'll explain along with the answer.
Okay. I'm still worried, though.
All right. Question 1. Patagonian toothfish was given what culinary name in order to sound more appealing? This culinary name isn't even accurate, as it's actually a type of cod.
Despite my last name, I don't eat fish and I know nothing of fish, so it's going to be up to you.
I think we're going to go ahead and lock in on this one, actually. It just occurred to me.
Okay. Is it Nemo? Or sorry, I gave away the answer.
When I said I might know this, you said, oh, good. So I'm guessing you don't have a lot to add to this one?
Not really. What are you thinking?
I believe that this is the Chilean sea bass. I remember us serving this at Michael Jordan's restaurant and then asking about bass, and they said it's not. So I feel pretty confident we can lock in with Chilean sea bass.
Yep. Just based on the Patagonian region, I think, southern South America. So we're saying Chilean sea bass.
All right. And both teams are correct. Patagonian toothfish is also known as Chilean sea bass, even though it's not a type of bass. This question about 2 different names for the same thing was based on the multiplicative identity, which explains how you can get 2 different names for the same fraction by multiplying by a form of 1.
And Chilean sea bass also love wearing fleece because they're from Patagonia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with that?
All right, question 2. What computer hardware does PSU stand for? This part usually has an I/O switch. Again, that's PSU.
I'll leave this one to you, Neil. It sounds like you have some sort of idea, so we're going to lock in with your guess.
Sure, it's a complete guess, but we'll go for it.
PSU was originally a PlayStation product intended for university students, but it never really took off.
Yeah.
Because no one got any work done.
Like the Wii U.
The only one I could think of is in Happy Valley. Kristen, do you have any ideas on PSU?
Not big in computers. The I/O switch, that's just like the on-off switch, right?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So thinking through acronyms, PSU. It could be unit. It could be.
I thought unit for you.
Mm-hmm. Personal
starter
something
unit.
Oh, I think we're almost there. Personal safety unit. Maybe it's like a surge protector type or
could be
protective surge unit. Maybe.
I like that. I think that's about as close as we're gonna get.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
I don't think Neal's just guessing too. So we're gonna go with protective surge.
I don't know. He wrote it down pretty fast.
I just thought of the IO meaning.
He seems confident.
Yeah, I thought of the IO meaning like power of some sort. So I just said power supply utility, power supply unit, something like that. I don't know.
That's a good one.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give credit to Billy Bookcase Thornton. Power supply unit is what PSU stands for. As Kristen said, it's the IO is like the on and off switch. So the power supply unit is usually what you turn off before you tinker around with the rest of your hardware to protect it. Okay, and question 2 was about computers because pretty much all computers use binary, which is a base 2 number system.
I only got that, Ken, because I was messing around with a fog machine and it had the IO and it called it the power supply.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to question 3. 3 is a Magic Number was the first song in what educational animated series that also featured Conjunction Junction and I'm Just a Bill?
Conjunction Junction goes hard. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lock
What
in
was
for
their
our
function?
team.
I still don't know, to be honest.
I mean, we know this, but I can't think of the songs. Do you know the name of the program?
I believe this is Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. We said Schoolhouse Rock as well.
And both teams are correct.
I always felt bad for the Bill.
Yeah, there's a Family Guy bit, I think, where they stab it with the litter picking up spear. But yes, Schoolhouse Rock, always a treat in elementary school when the teacher would wheel in the TV tray.
You're waiting for the squeaking wheel down the hallway to let you know that it's
Then the teacher accidentally shows us a movie that had nudity and they didn't remember it had nudity, like Amadeus or something. And it's like, don't tell anyone.
All right, let's move on to question 4. Map makers sometimes include intentional errors called trap streets or phantom settlements. Why do the map makers do this?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy is right. I don't know. I've never heard this before. Why do you? What would you think?
I would. The first thought is like, so they can't be copied, but the whole point is a map to.
Yeah.
Help people.
My thought was like job security. If it's wrong, then they get to release a new edition later on, which is like, I don't know, but a phantom settlement or trap streets would make it seem like they're maybe for like
the rap artists.
I was gonna say it's where all the trap beats are created.
Yeah, something to do with law enforcement. Maybe
that's what I was thinking.
They can
like a criminal is evading. They think they can go down that street or something.
Hide entrances or something like that. I would think it has to be.
Grab the map.
Yeah, I know, right? Hold on a second.
For national security purposes would be my only guess.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually love what you guys were talking about for a second there about like to make sure that nobody else copies your map. But that's not what we put. We put that the map makers are compensating for something, and what they're compensating for is the Mercator projection.
Right. So the reason for these trap streets and phantom settlements is what was mentioned earlier, but not locked in with. It is to try to expose plagiarizers. If another company has the exact same fake street or town, then they most likely just copied the other company. But interestingly, the Supreme Court ruled that facts on maps are not intellectual property and cannot be copyrighted. So question 4 was inspired by the 4-color theorem, which came up on Triviality somewhat recently. Yeah, it only takes 4 colors to fill in a world map so that no 2 neighboring countries have the same color.
Little addition. I mean, like, it's not like you're going to drive to Aglow, New York, Kristen, if I'm being honest with you. But these are also known as paper towns, and that's how I know about them. So
what if we're living in a paper town?
A paper town?
And we don't actually exist.
Phantom settlement.
We could.
This is also the reason that
it's like the kid with the snow globe. We're actually a map maker's dream.
So like the recipes and cookbooks can't be copywritten either because they're not considered intellectual property.
Okay, let's go to question 5. For 5 points each, name the 2 wonders of the ancient world that were located in what is modern-day Greece.
In Greece.
Mm-hmm. Is the Colosseum one of them?
That's the first thing that popped in my mind. But then I was like, is that in Greece? Then I'm starting to question myself.
I believe it is. And then I was thinking the Parthenon.
Oh, yeah.
Which it might be, because the Hanging Gardens is in, I don't think that's there. So I would lock in with Colosseum and Parthenon, I think. Sounds Greek if it's not.
It works.
Yep. We said the Parthenon as the first one, and I think the statue of Zeus is the second one.
All right. So the Colosseum, I believe, is in Rome.
Yep.
The Roman Colosseum, you're probably...
I've been there. I should know that.
I believe the Parthenon is in Greece, but it's not one of the 7 ancient wonders. So
why not? They should consider it.
I think once Nashville got its own Parthenon, they're like, it's no longer a wonder.
So I did hear Billy Bookcase Thornton give one correct answer, the statue of Zeus at Olympia. And the other one was the Colossus of Rhodes.
Oh.
Colossus of Rhodes.
The Colossus of
So
Rhodes.
Rhodes is in Greece?
He just won the WWE belt, Matt.
Yeah, Rhodes is a city on the island, also called Rhodes, which is part of Greece. Yeah, question 5.
I'll never remember that.
Yeah, question 5 was about Greece because 3, 4, 5 is a Pythagorean triple. It's one of the numbers sets that fits the Pythagorean theorem, and Pythagoras was Greek.
All right, so coming out of the first half of round 1, the scores are what you would expect. Pretty close. 20 points for IKEA Connection and 35 points for Billy Bookcase Thornton.
All right, continuing with question 6. What is a perfect composite score on the ACT standardized test? This is also Krypton's atomic number.
Were you an SAT or an ACT person?
I was more of an ACT person.
Yeah.
Thanks to the ACTs. But it's like 31, 32, but I don't know.
I was between 32 and 34, somewhere around there.
That's pretty good,
man.
No, not me.
I mean, yeah.
I did really well. But obviously it was not a precursor to future success. So
I was trying to think if it's changed because it's been so long since we've taken it.
Yeah.
But I do have high school seniors, so I'm like, what is it?
What are they shooting for?
Right.
I think 34. It might even be 30. I think it's below 40 and in the 30s.
Right.
But maybe
and my
30.
first was 32. I thought I like your 34.
I think I actually got in the 30s, and I know I wasn't close to perfect. So I think it's 30. It's either like 34 or 36. So we can go with 34.
I'm guessing you don't know Krypton's atomic number.
No, you would think a person with that high of an ACT score would know
Matt
that.
in the 30s. Look at this. Nice job, Matt.
Genius over here.
So you're going 34?
34.
I was also between 34 and 36. We're going with 36, though.
All right, so the coin flip went Billy Bookcase Thornton's way again. 36 is a perfect score on the ACT. Question 6 was about a perfect number because 6 is a perfect number, meaning its other factors add up to it. 1, 2, and 3 evenly divide 6, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. All right. Question 7. For 5 points each, what are the exact names of the 2 utility properties on the standard Monopoly board?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's easy enough.
I think one of them's right. I think the other one's wrong. But we'll lock in regardless.
All right. You guys playing a lot of Monopoly on the set of
during commercial breaks?
Yeah.
No, but I used to love playing Monopoly.
Just a quick game of Monopoly.
Yeah. In our 2 minutes. What's the one you were thinking of?
I think Waterworks is one of them.
Waterworks. And
that
then...
was my family when they played with me.
I think Electric Company might be.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like it's a light one or something. Electric. I like Electric Company.
Yeah, it's like a light bulb, but I might also be thinking of the TV show. But Electric Company sounds good. So Electric Company and Waterworks.
That sounded good to me, too. And we said Waterworks and Electric Company.
All All right, very good. Full credit to both teams, Electric Company and Waterworks. Yeah, question 7 was about Monopoly because 7 is the most common result when you roll 2 dice and add them, like in Monopoly and other things like Settlers of Catan and Craps.
Oh.
Okay, we'll move on to question 8. What country is Erno Rubik, the inventor of the Rubik's Cube, from? Other famous people from this country include Harry Houdini and chess grandmaster Judith Polgar.
We're good.
From the Houdini. That's what I was guessing.
Yeah, Neal's all of a sudden into Houdini after the song by Dua Lipa. So,
Well, I already was into Houdini, but yes, now that Dua
Because
Lipa.
of the song by Foster the People.
yes, that's what it was.
Big Houdini guy. And I'm obviously a big fan of Judith Polgar. I don't know who these people are.
That was a Starting Line song, right? Judith Polgar?
Yeah, I believe so.
We had a guest on our show. He was one of the going for the record fastest Rubik's Cube thing. So I remember doing a lot of research on this, and I do love me some Houdini too. I'm thinking it's I think he's Hungary, if I recall. Does that seem like?
That rings a bell. I remember I've done a lot of Houdini research as well because it comes up in trivia a lot, and that sounds super familiar. So I think we can lock in with that.
Okay.
Yeah, we said Eric Weiss was from Hungary.
Very good. Both teams are correct. All 3 people are from Hungary. Judith Polgar is widely considered the strongest female chess player of all time. She's the only woman to ever reach the top 10 worldwide rankings. And question 8 was about a cube because 8 is a perfect cube because it's equal to 2 cubed, 2 to the 3rd power.
What about Queen's Gambit?
She's
not the best chess player of all time.
Best real life person, I guess. Okay, moving on to question 9. The Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA championship for the 2019-2020 season, which finished in the bubble at Walt Disney World after being paused for COVID-19. Important contributors included number 0, Kyle Kuzma, number 1, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and number 9, Rajon Rondo. Alex Caruso also had a single-digit jersey number. If you multiply together the jersey numbers of Rajon Rondo and Alex Caruso, and then take that number and add its digits together, what would it equal? Again, Rondo's number was 9, and Caruso had a single-digit number.
All right, so they are locked in.
You know Caruso's number offhand?
So he's number 6 on the Bulls, but there is another person who uses number 6 on the Lakers, who would supersede him because he's.
We know he's not number 8.
Yeah, I think LeBron James is 6 on the Lakers. Is he? He changes back and forth. He was 23 and 6. He moved it back and forth.
Yeah.
So I think he was 6 at the time. So Caruso might have been. He's either. I think he's 4. He was 4 on the Lakers. So that would be 4 times 9. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah.
So I could do that part. 36. Okay. and then we're adding 3 plus 6.
Yeah.
I think.
So
okay.
9.
So we get to 9 again.
So we also said 9, but it was because we made a wild guess that his number was 2. And so we did 2 times 9 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So.
You know what? All these numbers.
I think
that's the trick. You got us, Jeff.
Yeah.
You got us.
Yeah, both teams are correct. And the question here was, so the actual way to arrive at the correct answer, you guys were correct. Caruso is currently number 6 with the Bulls, but at the time of the Lakers championship, he was jersey number 4. But yeah, as you guys figured out, no matter what number you picked, you would arrive at the correct answer. All multiples of 9 end up summing to 9, whether 18, 27, 36. Yeah, they all add up to 9.
As long as you do your math right, which is not a given for me and Neal.
That's right. Luckily, we have a good teacher in the house, good math teacher. So all the students of Jeff, listen to him, please.
All right, and we'll close out round 1 with question 10. In the International System of Units, or SI, What is the base unit of luminous intensity? This word is also the name of the Valor team leader in Pokemon Go.
Was no one paying attention during my Patreon bonus?
I do not pay attention at all.
Yeah, I pulled it out of my head like Dumbledore with the memories with the little wand.
Here, let me take your memories, Harry. No more Pokemon.
Harry Potter!
There's 2 Dumbledores.
Yeah, right. Come on, Harry. Yeah,
Do you prefer evil Dumbledore or friendly, calm Dumbledore?
That's tough. I like them both. I mean, you got Richard Harris as an icon, but
you can't. I mean, you can't knock the Gambon.
Yeah, Gambon's great though because he's a little feistier.
I'm going to overturn the score and cause Gryffindor to win for Harry Potter. And then there's Harry Potter.
It's a duality of man.
We're locked in.
This is all you, Matt.
So I only know this based off of Pokemon Go.
What?
Team Valor is the red guys. That's the one that I play on, and the leader is Candela.
We said lumens.
All right. So Matt is correct. So points to IKEA connection. The base unit for luminous intensity is the candela. And I wanted to not give him points because I'm on the rival team Instinct, but he is correct.
You asked the question, man.
I was Team Instinct for a long time, but there were never any yellow
Yes.
gyms around, and you got to go with what you got to go with.
Yeah.
I think I went yellow too.
Yeah, yellow's by far the least popular choice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, question 10 was about the system of units because all the prefixes are based on powers of 10.
All right, so totaling it up here from the end of round 1, both teams adding 40 points to their scores. So it is now 60 for IKEA Connection and 75 for Billy Bookcase Thornton.
Before we get to the swing round, just wanted to remind everyone that we're on our road to 600 patrons. We're only about 19 or 18 short, which is so awesome. We didn't think we'd get there that quickly. But if you'd like to join everyone in supporting the show, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, where for as little as $1 a day, you can get all of our newest episodes.
No, a month.
Did I say a day?
$1
Well, that's
a
okay.
day.
It could be $1 a day. But $1 a month, you can get all of our episodes ad-free, all of our newest episodes. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get all of our audio bonuses, hours and hours of content. But most importantly, all of our weekly bonuses that we've been putting out since January, which is 3 trivia-based bonuses plus a crop drop at the end of the month. So if you'd like to access all of that extra content, help support the show, and be maybe number 600, which could result in some sort of prize, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. All right, Jeff, what are we doing for the swing round today?
All right, so I love numbers, but I love letters too. So this swing round is called Next Alphabetically. You'll be given a category and asked to find the thing that is immediately next in alphabetical order after the stated item. For example, if I asked you for the planet in our solar system that comes after Mars, it would be Mercury, because the alphabetical order of planets goes Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Venus. Okay. There will be 10 of these worth 5 points apiece.
All right.
All right, so question 1. The U.S. state that is next alphabetically after Arkansas. Number 2, the World of Warcraft playable class that comes after Paladin. Number 3, the U.S. presidential last name that comes after Biden. 4, the Ivy League school that comes after Cornell. Number 5, the country which comes after Austria. And I'm using the country names listed on the U.S. State Department's website. So, for example, it would be Germany, not Deutschland. Number 6, the NHL team and the team name, ignoring the city or state, that comes after the Devils. Number 7, out of the first words of titles of Shakespeare's plays, what comes after measure for measure? Note that even if the first word is an article, that is what is counted. So I'm counting The Merchant of Venice as the, not merchant.
Wow.
Number 8.
Good, because I would have said merchant.
Number 8. Of Pixar movie titles, what comes after Elemental? Number 9. Of the actors and actresses' last names listed in 30 Rock's Season 1 opening credits, what comes after Friedlander? And number 10. On the US version of the Beatles' 20 Greatest Hits compilation album, which featured a selection of their songs which were #1 singles in the US, what comes after We Can Work It Out?
All right, we have our questions, and we'll be right back with some answers.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
All our answers are now locked in, so let's go ahead and get the questions one more time, and we'll see how close we came.
All right, so question 1 was the U.S. state that is next alphabetically after Arkansas. And let's have Billy Bookcase Thornton first.
Yeah, so we went with the state that Arnold Schwarzenegger adds an extra syllable to. We said California.
Yeah, and we exhausted all the A's, thinking hopefully we didn't forget one, but we also went California.
Both teams are correct. California is the next one, followed by Colorado, then Connecticut. Question 2, the World of Warcraft playable class that comes after Paladin. Let's have IKEA connection this time.
So I've never played, and I have no idea any of the characters. So we said a Sentinel.
Yeah, we weren't too confident. We just thought maybe there might be a rogue.
Ooh, so rogue is the second one after you skipped over priest.
Oh.
So yeah, priest was my character when I played. I never learned to heal actually, which is their main purpose. I played the damage
Sounds like a
variety.
problem. That sounds like a real problem.
What kind of priest are we? Can't heal.
I was a shadow priest. They deal
Normal
damage.
priests. Yeah, that's true.
All right. Question 3, the U.S. presidential last name that comes after Biden. Let's have Billy Bookcase Thornton.
Yeah, we said, as we like to call him, Mr. Buchanan. We said Buchanan.
Yeah, we thought maybe Bush might be a red herring there, but we also went with Buchanan.
Yes, both teams are correct with Buchanan. Yeah, it would have been a little bit of a mess if it was Bush because of the tie. I guess Herbert Walker would come before Walker, but yeah, Buchanan was correct. Question 4, the Ivy League school that comes after Cornell. Let's have IKEA connection.
This one we weren't sure. Maybe there's another C, but we went with Dartmouth.
We said Dartmouth as well.
Both teams correct again. It is Dartmouth that comes next. Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth, Harvard, either Princeton or UPenn, depending on if you count the U, and then Yale. Question 5, the country which comes after Austria. Let's have Billy Bookcase Thornton first.
We said Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Well, we thought Azerbaijan, but we thought maybe that was, couldn't remember if it was a Z or a J or what. So we actually went with Belarus.
All right. So the correct answer is Azerbaijan. Yeah, Azerbaiján. Yeah, there's actually several other Bs, Bahamas, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Barbados.
Oh, yeah. So we were way off.
Good.
All right. Question 6, the NHL team that comes after the Devils. I think we're on IKEA connection first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went through a bunch, and I think it's the recent champion Golden Knights.
We said everybody's favorite hockey team, the Ducks.
Oh, man.
So yeah, it is the Ducks. And in the discussion, I heard someone say they didn't think there were any Fs. There's actually both the Flames and the Flyers.
Flyers, yeah.
I don't blame you for forgetting about the Ducks, honestly.
Yeah.
Have they ever won a championship?
They have, yes.
Oh, they have?
Okay. In like the early 2000s.
Against Team Iceland?
Yeah.
I'll just say I thought they were still mighty, and that's why I forgot about them. I put them with the M's.
All right. Question 7. Out of the first words of titles of Shakespeare's plays, what comes after Measure for Measure? Let's have Billy Bookcase Thornton first.
Yeah, we saw your tricks. We know there's The Merchant of Venice, there's The Merry Wives of Windsor, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. So we said Much Ado About Nothing.
Well, we missed out on the. We did say Merry Wives of Windsor, but we forgot about The Merry Wives of Windsor.
Yeah, Neal got it exactly. Those two plays have articles, so Much Ado About Nothing is the next alphabetically. Question 8, Of Pixar movie titles, what comes after Elemental? What did IKEA Connection say?
We went with Encanto.
Ooh. Yeah, we blew it. We thought you were trying to trick us and going, oh, Finding Nemo, but it was actually Finding Dory. Yeah, I guess you guys are right.
Well, you guys can check this, but I have Encanto as a Disney, not a Pixar.
Yep, it is not a Pixar film.
Boo.
Oh no.
So it is Finding Dory, which comes before Finding Nemo. Okay, question.
I just call I've made Pixar a catch-all for animated movies. Everything's a Pixar.
All right. Question 9. Of the actors and actresses' last names listed in 30 Rock's season 1 opening credits, what comes after Friedlander? And we'll have Billy Bookcase Thornton go first.
Yeah, we weren't sure if we got all the actors, but we think Krakowski might be next.
We went Krakowski as well. We hadn't really watched the show that much, but we do know some of the actors, and that's the best we came up with was Krakowski.
And both teams are correct. The full order goes Adsit, Baldwin, Fay, Friedlander, Krakowski, McBrayer, and Morgan. Okay, and lastly, question 10. On the US version of the Beatles' 20 Greatest Hits compilation album, which featured a selection of their songs that were #1 singles in the US, what comes after We Can Work It Out? And we'll start with IKEA Connection.
Not big Beatles people over here, but we went with Yesterday.
Not much of a Gregor Samsa there, Matt. Not a Beatle person.
No, none of it. No Beatle. Michelle Beatle, maybe.
We went with Yellow Sub.
All right, so Yellow Submarine peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was not on the 20 Greatest Hits album. So Yesterday was the correct answer.
All right.
Nice, Matt.
We got one.
We got one.
All right, so the team's scores have been tabulated, and turns out that IKEA Connection is going to be adding 25 to their score, bringing them up to 85. And Billy Bookcase Thornton added 40, bringing them all the way up to 115. So it's anybody's game, though, going into the second half.
All right, moving on to round 2. Just a random assortment of questions here, no mathematical connections. Question 1. In 2015, a Redditor posted a theory that baseball's 2014 AL MVP was a huge weather fan. As evidence, the Redditor showed that the MVP was using a third-party weather app rather than the default iOS one, and also tweeted at NJWeatherblog. Internet sleuths found that the player followed a huge number of winter storm chasing accounts, and the player later confirmed that he's a huge fan of weather. One of his nicknames is the Millville Meteor, but I think the Millville Meteorologist would be more appropriate. What is the name of this now 3-time MVP who is hooked on the weather?
Okay, we have some random baseball player names we'll just take a stab at, so we'll lock in.
Yeah, which AL player do you think would be most likely to get hooked?
Hooked.
It's a fishy question. I believe that this is Mike Trout. He's from New Jersey. He was a big time prospect there, so I'm pretty sure that. And I think the hooked is a clue leading you to Mike Trout.
I like it.
So we're going Mike Trout.
I did not even think about Mike Trout fitting in with Hook. I just knew he was an MVP before, so we just said Mike Trout.
Like Hook Pirates. Who was a pirate?
All right, well, looks like both teams ended up getting the right answer. It is Mike Trout, who, in addition to being an excellent baseball player, also really enjoys chasing hurricanes and other storms. Okay, question 2. What is the name of the Australian pop group formed in the 1960s that was headlined by singer Judith Durham? Their hits included I'll Never Find Another You, A World of Our Own, and The Carnival Is Over, but they found their greatest American success with Georgie Girl, which hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. If Harry, Draco, Cedric, and Cho formed a band together at Hogwarts, they might have given themselves the same name.
All right, we're going to lock in. We don't know the band name, but we're trying to suss out this clue here. So we're locked in.
Well, you guys are right where I'm at. Do you know any of these songs? Are they familiar to you?
I don't. And then I'm trying to go from the Harry Potter angle, but I fell off Harry Potter halfway through. So
yeah, I think these 4 are all in separate houses.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah, so
it's like four 4 houses, 4 different houses, or
4 sorts.
4 sorts. Okay, I'm okay with that. I don't think we're gonna get it, so we're not gonna get anything better. So
let's go with that.
Yeah, so we think all those characters are in different houses, so maybe the band's just called Different Houses.
All right, so it's true that all these characters are from different houses, which is the reason that they can all play the position of Seeker in Quidditch. So the Australian
Seekers.
group is called the Seekers. Yeah, they're an older group, but yeah, I just discovered them recently, and I think Judith Durham had one of the most beautiful voices of all time, so I'll definitely recommend giving them a listen. All right, question 3. In the original Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64, what do you have to knock Magikarp into in order to make it evolve into a Gyarados? This is a reference to a Chinese mythological tale about how carps can transform into dragons. This word is also used to describe a method of drinking from someone else's bottle without putting your lips on it. You tilt the bottle over your head and let the liquid cascade down into your open mouth.
Mm-hmm. Not sure if they're chasing the answer over there, but I have a good idea. Are you?
Matt, I
you
love
have any
you so
ideas,
much.
Kristen?
No, you go for it, Matt.
I think it's a waterfall. I remember it vaguely from the game, but I do know that evolution is based off a mythological Chinese tale, and that's where it comes from. So we can lock in with waterfall.
Yes, and I've heard the mythology angle as well, so we're saying waterfall.
All right, both teams are correct. The Chinese legend stated that many carp swam upstream in the Yellow River, but few were capable or brave enough for the final leap over the waterfall at Dragon Gate. And yeah, tilting a bottle over your upturned head so the water flows down into your mouth. I think a lot of places call it a waterfall because like the water, like a water falls down. But actually here in Orange County, most people call it a birdie, like the baby birds in the nest sort of sticking their heads up. So
that's how I feed Jeff during our lunch. I regurgitate into his mouth.
Correct?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
All right. Question 4. What game show that originated on the Discovery Channel featured a red light challenge and a street shoutout?
I always dreamed of being on this game show, but I guess they'd have to do it with Ubers now, I think. Do you know this one, Kristen?
I know the title names, but it's blanking me. What do you?
I think that this is the Cash Cab, I believe.
We should see if we can get Ben Bailey on the show.
That'd be really fun, actually. It used to be.
Is he doing anything?
He's just a stand-up. But yeah, I used to watch this in London when I lived there.
He's just a stand-up. How dare you?
Yeah.
That job's hard.
No, I said he is a stand-up.
Oh, okay. I think he's just a stand-up.
No, not just a stand-up.
That's what you said. How dare you?
Yeah. No, this used to be on in London, which is really cool. And they, as Americans always do, we copied British shows. But yeah, we said Cash Cab.
All right, so both teams saying Cash Cab, and both teams are correct. For anyone not familiar, the premise of the show is that unsuspecting people who thought they were just taking a regular cab were surprised with the opportunity to win money by answering trivia questions. All right, question 5. What is the only country in Southeast Asia that was never colonized by Europeans? Its currency is the baht, and it is regularly ranked among the top tourist destinations in the world.
All right, we are going to go ahead and lock in on this one.
Any ideas, Matt? Looking at the way bot is spelled, what are you thinking?
I think so. If it's a Southeast Asia, I think it's one of the island nations. Pretty much anything that was attached or close to Europe would be colonized by the Europeans. But if they had to use a boat, it might be less likely. So I'm thinking either Philippines or Thailand was my first thought. And Bot has a somewhat silent age, much like Thailand. So
Say Thailand's pretty popular.
Yeah, beautiful
right now.
country.
I know my boss just came back from Thailand. I should have asked her.
Came back with any bots? Like
No bots that
really
she shared with us.
Really helpful. Yeah, I think that's a good guess. I think we can lock in with Thailand.
Okay.
Yes, Philippines very famous for its lack of Spanish influence.
And being not named after King Philip of Spain.
Disregard.
We're going to go with Thailand.
All right. So Thailand, I wouldn't really consider it an island country. It's definitely part of the mainland, though it does have countries. But yes, Thailand is the correct answer. In the late 1800s, when Britain and France were taking over everything, they agreed to make Thailand sort of a neutral buffer state between their other holdings. So Thailand was never fully taken over, but it was definitely influenced by Europeans. They had to cede some of their territory. And yeah, the capital city of Bangkok is pretty much always ranked in the top 10 of most visited cities every year.
All right, strong performances in the first half of round 2, both teams getting 40 points, bringing the totals up to 125 for IKEA Connection and 155 for Billy Bookcase Thornton.
It's a hot one.
Just like in Thailand right now.
That is a heat wave.
Yeah, my parents are from Thailand, and a joke there is that they have 3 seasons: hot, hotter, and hottest. Yeah, it's definitely a humid place. All right, let's continue with question 6. Lea Salonga is a legendary Filipina singer and actress who, among many other accomplishments, provided the singing voices for 2 Disney princesses, Jasmine and Mulan. She also portrayed 2 different characters of a certain musical 15 years apart. She played Eponine in this musical's 10th anniversary concert in 1995, and then Fantine in that musical's 25th anniversary concert in 2010. What musical is this? If you're stuck, I'm sure Susan Boyle could tell you.
We're locked in.
Neil
I had
didn't
the
know
Disney
it, but I let him
princesses.
know.
I was gonna say I was hoping it was the question about which Disney princesses, because I definitely knew that.
Fun fact, I actually interviewed Lea Salonga
Oh yeah, Is she
over
kind?
COVID. She was very sweet, very kind.
That's good. Did she happen to mention this?
Which
Probably
one she
not.
was?
Probably
I know I'm
not.
going back because isn't Eponine, isn't that Les Mis?
It's
No.
possible. You're asking the wrong person. I watched the movie one time, and that's as much as I know. I'm trying to think of what the Susan Boyle thing is, because I know she was the singer from Britain's Got Talent. I think people were amazed that she can sing and she wasn't conventionally attractive. That was kind of the deal.
Yes, very surprising that people can have talents.
Matt has her vinyl. You have her vinyl at home, I think.
I'm a big Boyle head. Les Mis sounds good. Those sound like French names, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Les Mis. I know she was in Miss Saigon, but that's not names for Miss Saigon.
Okay, so we're gonna go Les Mis.
1995. Yeah, let's go Les Mis.
Yep, we're saying Les Mis as well.
And both teams are correct. Les Mis is the answer. Susan Boyle, her first song on Britain's Got Talent was I Dreamed a Dream, which is one of the songs from Les Mis.
I'm trying to think what she's saying.
All right, we'll continue with question 7. The author of the Wayside School series also wrote what 1999 Newbery Medal winning novel set at Camp Green Lake that was adapted into a 2003 film. It's one of my favorite books. I really dig it. I'm looking for the novel, not the author.
Yeah, we're locked in.
You all caught that, apparently. Neil's not very subtle.
It has to be quick
Yeah,
hand motions here across the table.
There's not a hole in his knowledge here. This is holes, I believe.
If you can believe it, we also said holes.
Yes, the Newbery Medal is for children's literature, and the novel about digging for hidden treasure is Holes. The author is Louis Satcher, but I thought it might be too easy if I gave you the name.
Stanley Yelnats.
We love holes.
Yeah, we
here.
do love holes.
comes
I don't
up
know
a
anything
lot.
about holes.
Well, we're a holes forward podcast. We love holes.
I never saw the
All of
movie,
them.
nor have I read the book. So
Well, you're a big.
should I check it out?
You're a big
Is it too late?
the beef fan.
It's never too late to check out a good book.
A LaBeouf buff.
Now, Jeff, do you like the book better or do you like the movie better?
I cannot say because I only read the book.
How about Jeff Prugpichailers?
I like the book more. I think I only watched a few pieces of the movie, actually. I didn't sit down and watch it all the way through.
They didn't get the holes quite right in the movie. You know what I mean?
They were, yeah, exactly.
deep.
The one review I read from the New York Times was that the circumference of the holes wasn't adequate enough.
See, I thought they were too round. Like it was almost like unbelievable.
perfect.
It was causing like trypophobia or whatever that fear of holes is.
This podcast is
circles.
turning into only holes. We're talking about holes too much.
All right, I guess we better move on to question 8 then.
We better move
Please.
on. Yeah, that's a good point.
A number with 2 holes in it.
Yes, that is true.
You're sick.
All right. Question 8. What's the name for a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides? The parallel sides are called the bases, and the other 2 sides are called the legs. Heed the much-memed warning of the Mon Calamari commander of the Rebel Alliance fleet during the Battle of Endor.
Shapes. What do you know about shapes?
What do you know about the Battle of Endor?
Well, this is the memed warning is that it's a trap, which would lend me to think that this is a trapezoid and not a rectangle, where you would think it's a rectangle.
Well, it's like I'm picturing it. Thank you for coming up with. But I was like, what is the name of that shape? Yes.
Show me that shape.
Trapezoid. It's a trapezoid.
Yep. Matt described the clue perfectly. In Star Wars, the Mon Calamari are a squid-like species, and the commander was Admiral Akbar, who said it's a trap. So yeah, the name for a quadrilateral, a 4-sided shape with exactly one pair of sides, is a trapezoid. And in researching this question, I learned that a lot of British call it a trapezium instead, so I would have accepted that as well.
Unacceptable.
We're getting that from
You know
us.
who's got great traps? Alan Ritchson, who plays Reacher.
Just saw him in that Guy Ritchie movie.
He's if he makes Henry Cavill look small, which
That
is
guy's
a hard
all
feat.
glamour muscles. Got no legs.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead
Jeff.
and fight him.
I'm not going to fight. I mean, I'll get smashed.
Did you know he chased
By his glamour muscles.
By his,
By
his own admission, I watched his workout routine on like
Men's Health?
Men's Health, yeah.
Did you know when he was overseas with his wife said, "Hey, someone's robbing that person from the car, their purse," and he's like, "Okay," and then he ran after the guy through an alley like a couple like blocks, and he threw him up against the wall and knocked him out. Took the purse back.
Wish I was huge. Next question.
All right, question 9. The poem The Charge of the Light Brigade by Lord Tennyson was based on a real event in which British cavalry hurried to attack forces of what empire in 1854?
I never made it to Tennyson. It was always Nynison for me. Who was the British fighting anyone in the 1800s? Everyone, right? So this could be various wars.
1854.
So it's after
Hurried to it. Like, is that?
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a clue. Something. Maybe Russia.
That's
Russian.
That's the only thing I was thinking of. They were Russian to attack them.
Yeah. Well, we got nothing else, so
Nope.
It sounds great. I like it.
Well, we knew that it took place in the Crimean War. We didn't really pull an empire, so we just said the Crimean Empire. But I think you picked up on a good clue there.
Yes, Matt picked up on my very bad pun.
Kristen did. I had nothing to do with that.
Yes, it was, as Ken stated, this was part of the Crimean War. But yes, the British were fighting against the Russians. All right, and last question.
That's what we call selective knowledge there on my part.
All right, last question of round 2, question 10. Who was the winner of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble? She's a champ, and if you put champ before her name, you get a Hall of Fame cornerback. It's different spelling, but sounds the same.
Yeah. Are you familiar with this person?
I'm not familiar with this person, but I'm going from the running back.
A cornerback.
Sorry, quarterback. Thank you. Did I get the right?
Mm-hmm.
Different spelling sounds the same.
He was a Bronco.
Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Champ Bailey.
Yep. Champ Bailey is right. It was Bailey. I believe that is what won Jeff a free Triviality shirt, and that's why we went with it. So Bailey it is.
Yeah, we said the same. We said Bailey.
Yep, you guys got it exactly. As Matt mentioned, he was kind enough to host a Royal Rumble pool this year through the Facebook and Discord groups, and I just randomly got assigned the winner, so I got a free t-shirt, which I'm wearing right now. So yeah, encourage all you listeners out there, if you're not already, join the Facebook and Discord as well.
All right. Great performances here in the second half of the second round as well. Going perfect. IKEA Connection draws a little bit closer, bringing their score to 175 and narrowly in the lead at 195. Billy Bookcase Thornton. It's anyone's game.
Well, it sounds like anyone's
Strong
game.
scores.
Yeah.
Strong scores indeed. But it's all down to the final. So
Before we get to that, we just want to mention our Patreon. You too can be a subscriber to Patreon for just $1 a day or month, whichever you prefer.
Whatever you prefer. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get a bunch of bonus audio content, including all of our weekly bonuses. Jeff, have you been taking advantage of any of those audio bonuses?
Yeah, definitely. I listened to all the crop drops. It's a lot of fun. Listening to the new bonus content you guys make, the little 10 question sets are really nice. And yeah, the ad free is nice too, so that I can get more trivia during my commute.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you like it. And Kristen, I know that you like the crop drops because it's more information for you to blackmail us with at a later time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm just waiting for the perfect date for that. No, it's fun. I like that you guys are adding that. I know it's more work and we all as patrons appreciate it, but we don't usually get to, hear you guys and learn more about you and what your hobbies are. So getting to hear those quizzes and the crop drops, we really appreciate it as listeners.
Well, thank you for saying that. Well, if you'd like to join Jeff and Kristen in listening to all those bonus audio contents, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Or if you just want to help the show, as Ken said, for as little as $1 a month, we'd appreciate it. All right, Jeff, what do we have for the final round categories to wager on?
All right, so your final round categories. Question 1, geometry. Question 2, trigonometry. Question 3, calculus. Question 4, statistics. And question 5, algebra. Okay, but because I want you to actually make educated wagers, here's what the categories are actually about. Question 1, geometry is really an art question. Question 2, trigonometry is really a sports question. Question 3, calculus is really a health question. Question 4, statistics is a statistics question. And question 5, algebra is an algebra question.
All the wagers are now in. So, Jeff, let's go ahead and get the questions.
All right, question 1 in the category of geometry. This is often considered the most influential art movement of the 20th century. Pioneered by George Braque and his Spanish colleague, this style of art depicts the subject from multiple perspectives. Question 2, in trigonometry. Trigonometry is the study of triangles. Which Hall of Fame NBA coach had his team run the triangle offense for a total of 11 titles? He was called the Zen Master and often gave his players books to read. Question 3, in calculus. In dentistry, hardened dental plaque can be called calculus or what other term? You might get this if you don't brush after eating a fillet of fish. Question 4, statistics. This paradox in statistics is when a trend appears in several groups of data, but reverses when the groups are combined. For example, in basketball, a player's overall field goal percentage includes both 2-point and 3-point attempts. In 2021, Steph Curry shot 42.1% on threes, which was better than Kyrie Irving's 40.2%. Steph also had a higher percentage on two-pointers, 56.9% to Kyrie's 56.1%. However, Kyrie's overall field goal percentage was 50.6%, better than Steph's 48.2%. The reason is that Steph took a much higher amount of threes than Kyrie, which pulled his overall percentage down much further. What is this paradox, whose name might make you think of the city where basketball was invented? The paradox also shares a name with the American socialite for whom Edward VIII abdicated in order to marry. And question 5 in algebra. What is the name for the curved graph of a quadratic function? In adjective form, this also describes the shapes of many satellite dishes and directional microphones. These have the property that no matter where on the dish the radio, light, or sound wave hits, they will all get reflected into a single point called the focus. This is useful because the satellite antenna or receiver can be placed at the focus where it will receive the waves. I'll take either the noun or the adjective.
All right, we have our questions and we'll be back with our answers. We are back and all the answers are locked in, so that means it's time to determine who will be the cream of the crop today, depending on these upcoming answers. Jeff?
All right. Question 1 was in geometry. This is often considered the most influential art movement of the 20th century. Pioneered by Georges Braque and his Spanish colleague, this style of art depicts the subject from multiple perspectives. Let's have IKEA connection first.
So multiple perspectives made me think of 3D. Matt brought up the word collage in terms of the art form. It's kind of similar, so we went with collage.
And we thought that the friend of this artist might have been Picasso, so we said cubism.
All right, so Ken has it exactly correct. Georges Braque's Spanish colleague was Pablo Picasso, and together they developed cubism. And of course, cube is a geometric shape. Okay, question 2 in trigonometry. Trigonometry is the study of triangles. Which Hall of Fame NBA coach had his teams run the triangle offense for a total of 11 titles? He was called the Zen Master and often gave his players books to read.
For another 30 points on this one, we said, Neal?
Phil Jackson.
We also bet 30 points. This is the one we knew right away. We said Phil Jackson.
And both teams are correct again. Phil Jackson was the head coach. All right, we'll move on to question 3 in calculus. In dentistry, hardened dental plaque can be called calculus or what other term? You might get this if you don't brush after eating a Filet-O-Fish.
For 30 points, as Mitch Hedberg used to say, he didn't need to dip his fish sticks in because he had plenty of tartar.
Oh.
Oh.
We wagered 30. That makes a lot more sense. We're like, what's a fillet of fish made of? Cottage? I don't know. We said cottage.
Yes, another term for dental calculus is tartar, and McDonald's Filet-O-Fish has tartar sauce. Okay.
This is no longer anyone's game.
Question 4, statistics. What is the name of the statistical paradox exemplified by Kyrie having a higher overall field goal percentage than Steph despite having lower 2-point and 3-point percentages, and that makes you think of the birth city of basketball, and that shares its name with the wife of Edward VIII?
Yep, we wagered 30 on this one. I've been watching The Crown pretty religiously, so thankfully that helped. And we know that her last name was Simpson, so we said it's the Simpson paradox.
We wagered 30, and for somehow I have no idea, we got there, and we said Simpson.
Yes, both teams get credit. This is Simpson's paradox. Basketball was invented by James Naismith in Springfield, Massachusetts, and the Simpsons live in Springfield of some other state. And yes, Edward VIII gave up the throne to marry Wallis Simpson. All right, and last question. Question 5 was in algebra. What is the name for the curved graph of a quadratic function? In adjective form, this also describes the shapes of many satellite dishes and directional microphones.
We were protecting our lead with this question, so we only bet 15, but we think it's a parabola or parabolic.
Ooh, that makes sense. We wagered 10, and I was just thinking of the different functions on a microphone, and we said orbital.
Okay, so the graph of a quadratic function is known as a parabola, and many satellite dishes are parabolic.
All right, and the final round totals are in. Staying even, not gaining, not losing any points. The IKEA connection will have 175 to end today's game. But today's cream of the crop, with a score of 330 points, will be Billy Bookcase Thornton. Congratulations, gentlemen. You did it.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. We're going to buy
That is our catchphrase. You did it.
You did it.
I already said that you were the cream of the crop a second ago.
I
was just
you gotta say
mixing it
cream
up.
of the crop, and then I do the cream of the crop drop,
Yeah.
and then we continue.
No,
You did it.
you did it.
All right, fine.
We get to
New
buy a
catchphrase
sling blade
unlocked.
with all the winnings.
Kristen and Matt, great job today, though. You guys were fierce opponents, and great game by Jeff.
Kristen, thank you so much for being here today. We know that you weren't able to stalk Matt in person yet, so hopefully that'll come soon. But you both played very well. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, and where can folks check out your show every day?
Well, now I know where you work, Matt, so I'll pop in
The
and say hi
There's only a
next
few
time
of
I'm
them.
over there. No, thank you guys for having me. As always, so much fun. Good to see you all. yeah, you can check us out. My show is in DC, Washington, DC at 3 p.m. We stream online. So come on, check us out. We'll let you know, Neal, when Neal's going to be on next time. And I can't wait to see you guys again. But thanks for having me. Just want to let everybody know I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So please get checked. Please reach out to those of friends and loved ones of yours that might be waiting for some answers. Let them know the support is there. But please, please get checked.
There you go. Great advice. And Jeff, great game today. Excellent question writing. We appreciate you coming on. Any final shout outs for you?
Yeah, first, thanks to Louie and Dispatch Rabbi on the Discord for playtesting my game. They gave some really great suggestions. Shout out to my weekly pub trivia group, Riley, Connor, Eric, Tamlin, and Michael. And thanks to Pop Quiz Trivia, who runs the trivia we've been going to for over 10 years. If you're ever in Orange County, California, look them up. For any fellow teachers out there, I cannot recommend enough starting a Quiz Bowl club at your school. You'll be amazed at how much the students know, and you'll learn a lot too. The official competitions have both middle and high school divisions with 2 difficulty levels, so it's really accessible. And if any students are listening, ask your teachers if they'd be interested in starting a club. Even if there aren't any in-person competitions in your area, there's also online ones. And finally, thanks to everyone at the Triviality crew for all the work you guys put in to make such great content.
Well, thank you very much. And that was really well said. I think, I know we didn't have Quiz Bowl in high school, but I'm sure we probably all would have been heavily involved in that. And I can imagine it being a very rewarding experience. So
we did have, we had Scholastic Bowl that I was on for a little bit. Maybe it ended by the time you were in school, Jeff.
It could be.
10 years after me.
Jeff got cut from the team. That's what really happened.
But
we were in high school at the same time.
No, we were. And yeah, thank you, Jeff, though, for saying all that great stuff. And shout out to the Jeopardy subreddit you're part of and the Discord for Pokemon Go. If any of those listeners are here, we welcome you. But one thing we do welcome are just new ways of listening to podcasts and new exciting shows, Ken. And where can people find them?
Airwave Media. You can find them at airwavemedia.com, and they're a network. And they have other great shows, such as American Carnage, Most Notorious, and How She Does It. So make sure you check out some of those great podcasts over there at airwavemedia.com. And that'll be the show for today. So once again, we'd like to thank our guests, Jeff and Kristen. And special thanks to Matt for being here today. And special thanks to Jeff and Neal for being here today. And most thanks to me.
Wow.
My name is Ken.
Special thanks to Ken.
Yeah, and that was Triviality.